Hi everyone, my name is Jessie Haney, and today I'm going to be sharing with you all my project, which is called Reimagining the Library as a Participatory Literacy Space for Adolescents. Now, I focus on a key issue here, and that is adolescent literacy is often framed as a crisis because teens are now distracted more than ever, disengaged, and no longer reading deeply. And this is mostly to blame on social media and the fast digital content that they intake. Now, instead of just blaming students and technology, I wanted to ask a different question, and that is, do literacy spaces, especially school libraries and just libraries in general, still match the way adolescents actually make meaning in a world shaped by new media and participatory culture? So there has been current conversations all over social media about adolescent literacy, and I must admit I have had my own discussions and conversations about that as well. And they oftentimes start from a deficit view because teens are still looked at as lazy readers and obsessed with their phones. But after doing my research, I realized that literacy is still being defined very narrowly, and that's due to the silent reading of print, the individual written responses, and that constant evaluation. And that does not reflect the literacies that teens actually practice daily, because we all know that they move across their screens using images, audio, and memes and social platforms. So the problem isn't that those teens aren't reading or don't read. It's more so that schools' literacy often feels disconnected on how they actually read and write and participate in those digital spaces. Because teens are already communicating, producing, and learning in different contexts outside of school, I now want to argue that we need literacy spaces that recognize those things and build on them. And this is kind of where that school library or libraries in general become a powerful environmental tool. But I also found out that it's pretty much underused. And libraries can be underused for several reasons. And notably, one of those reasons are they have that notion that, libraries are supposed to be quiet, in a quiet space, and you can't be loud and you can't express yourselves in different ways, especially being teens. However, I remember when I was growing up in middle school and high school, I had a large library right across the street from my school, so it was very accessible, and we had a teen area where we can express ourselves. And I remember working on student projects with my peers a lot of the times, and a lot of times we just hung out, and that's where that disconnect happens. I feel as if we are missing that point and that sense of community. And because of those factors, my central argument is that school libraries should be reimagined, and they should be reimagined as participatory literacy spaces that offer guided teen reading and creative expression circles. And in practice, this circle would definitely be student centered because teens will give their own input on genres and issues that they care about, as well as nominate different titles. We will also have guided structured discussions and protocols where we will ask those important questions centered on media literacy, like who's centered in this story, who is missing, and how is race, gender, and class represented. And also, we will have a multimodal response to those questions and projects, and we would do so in the form of digital storytelling and podcasting and also comics. And I think that this circle matters a lot because it directly addresses both sides of the problem. For starters, it rebuilds motivation and reading identity by offering autonomy, community, and competence in a lower stakes but still rigorous space. And it also aligns with school literacy with the ways adolescents already making meaning, but in a new media and participatory culture rather than ignoring or fighting those practices in general. I want to thank you all so much for watching my presentation, and I hope that it was of benefit of you in any way, shape, or form, and I hope you resonated with it as well. Thank you, and I had a great time with you this semester. Bye.